Bro, I just had the most insane dream ever. And I have to say something. It was actually, like, I don't remember my dreams usually, but this one, I remember so many of the details. I feel like I'm probably still gonna forget some and they're gonna be out of order. But this was actually insane. Let me give some context first. So I was just sleeping, right? And I woke up at like 6:30 and I was tired and groggy and like I don't know why I was even awake. So I just like I tried to go back to sleep. The dream hasn't happened yet. This was when the dream started. So, oh my god, let me recollect my thoughts real quick. So, I don't think I have the clearest start. There's probably more stuff that happened beforehand. But this is what I remembered. I was chilling at home, being sick, like my IRL home. That's an important distinction because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's gonna happen. And I was sick. So, I wanted to go drive somewhere to like fix that, I'm pretty sure. And so I got outside and I got in like my white pickup truck that I had, and my two younger sisters came along for the ride. So I pulled out of my driveway and I got onto the main street that connects everything in this very rural area that I live in. And so I was cruising down the road, right? And my sisters and I were just yapping the whole time. And I'm gonna be honest, in my dream, I think I was getting a little sleepy, a little tired while I was driving. So on the road, while I was cruising down, I was like swerving left and right. I was not driving very well. I was like looking, I think I remember looking behind me. There was no police anywhere. I just kept going. I think one time I even hit a car, like specifically an orange car in front of me, and then I turned right and like onto the lane to the right, and then I just kept going. I kept going. At this point, my sisters are still being extremely annoying. They're still talking the whole time, and I turned right, finally, to obviously the place that would cure my sickness. A building, like a combination of a building, of an Asian market, and a post office. Because, of course, those two things specifically would help cure my sickness. So I turned right, like onto a side road that would then later connect to these buildings. It's so hard to explain like how the road is, but basically I turned right and then I turned left into like the parking lot. But the thing is I couldn't fully get onto the parking lot. I was on the road right before the parking lot. And this road, there was a black police car, like an SUV or something, with flashing blue lights, and he was just sitting there. And to the right of me was like a parking garage or something. I don't know, it spawned out of thin air. And I, being of course, the genius that I am, I went to the right to this parking lot. Like, I turned the corner, and there are like these red crayons or markers or like little cones on the ground. And they were to the left of me, and the wall was to the right of me. And they were configured in such a way that I had no room to drive and not hit the red things. So there was another corner in the parking garage that I had to turn past, and I managed to evade all of these little crayons, these red crowns on the ground. But then the person who owned the parking garage, like it was like a woman with like short brown hair. I don't know how I'm remembering this, but they went up to me and was like, "Oh, you're fine to go. You're good to go park in the parking lot outside. The police car has moved for you," because I think they're like friends with the police or something. And so I was like, "Okay, great." But I was already trapped in this corner with walls in front and to the right of me and red crowns to the left of me. And so I was trying to back out with my white pickup truck, which there was another detail about this pickup truck I didn't mention. Like the front windshield had like these layers that you could like pull and push up like to the ceiling. And they all fell down. It looked like it was like supposed to be a very protective layer. But like while I was driving the car to this Asian market post office combination, like it kept falling down somehow. I don't know how, but like you could only see like a fourth of the windshield, and I had to keep pushing it up and pushing it up. And there's like 8 layers, and I just kept doing that while I was driving with one hand on the steering wheel, one hand pushing these layers of the windshield up. Okay, anyways, back to the main plot. So I was backing up trying to avoid all of these red crayons and not get my car to hit the wall. Of course I failed. These red crayons, I don't know what they were doing there. There's so many. It was like such a tight space. And of course I had to like back up around the corner and not hit these red crayons on the floor. And so, of course, I hit all of the red crayons. And then I finally reached the entrance of the parking garage. And then I got out the car for some reason. I don't know why I didn't just go park. But then I met up to converse with the person, the lady, the owner of the parking garage, and they're like, "Oh, that was like a driving test. You basically failed the driving test, and I'm gonna have to give you a ticket before failing, and it's gonna be sent to like your mom or something." Mind you, like I don't know what was happening. I was like, "What the heck?" And so like my mom, I don't know at what point she came over, and then like my sisters were still there, and then she kind of just left with my sisters. So now I was just alone at the parking garage, confused. Like I'm confused now. Like how did my brain like congregate all of this information at once? I don't even know. Like, and so this lady, apparently I didn't get the fine because it was changed too. I had to go to this parking garage the next week, Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. On those 2 days, I had to go, and I had to do like some weird driving assignment. I'm pretty sure I just had to draw some pictures. And so I was like, no, I can't do that. I got stuff to do on Saturday and Sunday. I told them I had like an exam, and apparently this was very convenient. While I was driving to the Asian market, I also drove to the place where I had to take the exam. So this parking garage thing was just in the middle. So I was like, okay, I don't know if I can do that. When do I have to do this weird parking garage assignment? And actually, before I asked that, I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I have a test on this 2 days. And they're like, well, no, this is important. I'm gonna revoke your driver's license for this. And I was like, okay, well, my test is also important. I can't just skip my test for this stupid thing that I had to do. And so I asked what time it was to do it, because my test was like 12 to 2 p.m. And I don't think I got a specific time from them, but I think I could go earlier. And so in my dream, I planned out the next Saturday and Sunday. I was going to go to this place early in the morning, get the drawing assignment done, and then I would go take the test. And so I still hadn't gotten the thing I was going for being sick. I think I just gave up on that at this point. And I went back into my car, and I saw the parking lot. I saw that the police car had parked, and I got into my car, and I drove over next to the police car, and I parked. I don't know why, because right after that, I got back into the car to go home. And this was when everything went haywire. It was actually so crazy here. So, it started raining. And then this was disaster. I got to the entrance. I drove to the entrance of the parking garage. I drove back out to the road that connected to the main street. And for the life of me, I just could not drive. Like, I was slipping or something. The car was just slipping because like the back wheels were they had like no friction on them, and they would just like turn the whole car around. Like I would turn left, and then the whole car would just like the back wheels just didn't have friction. They would all just the whole entire back half of the car would just slip over. And like at this point I realized this was not safe to drive in, and so I couldn't make the turn. And so like I drove forward instead of turning back onto the main road. And like okay, this I'm slowed down on the story. It's confusing me. I don't know how this even happened. But I drove forward onto like the staying on the road not connected to the main road, right? instead of turning right to get to the main road. I was still slipping at this point. It was still raining. And then I drove a little bit and I turned left into a parking lot. Like it was just like a parking lot on top of a mountain. And there's no other buildings, just a parking lot. And so I got out of the car and I remember I had to sprint. Like I saw another car with two IRL people I knew. And these IRL people, I don't know, I don't know why I was gonna go up to them, but I ran up to them, and in the parking lot, there was like a patch of grass, and then the parking lot, and then a patch of grass, and then the parking lot, you know what I mean? And so I ran past the patch of grass, and I was barefoot. I don't know why I was barefoot. I guess my shoes just magically came off. But I ran past this parking lot to get to these people. And then, bam! A magical brick building spawned in front. And these people were now through a window in the brick building. And I went to the entrance of the brick building. I went through the brick building. And then I was back at the parking lot with the car. Like, I was walking only in one direction. And I like warped reality or something because the parking lot was in front of me and I hadn't like changed the direction I was facing while I was walking to these two people this whole time. I don't know why I was walking towards them. I think they were like severely judging me and I could feel the severe judgment in their voices while they were talking to each other, even though I was far enough that I couldn't hear exactly what they were saying. And so this time I was actually gonna go home. I got back in the car. It was still raining. I was slipping and sliding around. I didn't feel safe. I got onto the main road. I was still slipping and sliding. But I didn't go towards my house. I went the opposite direction to to the same place where I would have to take my exam. I don't know why. But I was cruising, trying my best not to slip and slide around the road, trying my best not to hit other people. And then I get a phone call from a friend I met on Minecraft 2 years ago, and we have never spoken like since like 2 years. And apparently, they told me to call. They called me, and they told me that they talked to the owner of the parking garage all that time ago, like the parking garage near the Asian Market Post Office combination building. All that time ago. Apparently they called them and they were good friends with them and they're like, yo, this guy is cool. You should give him a less severe punishment. I don't know what the less severe punishment was, but apparently I had it. And that was cool. And then they just hung up and then we never spoke again. Now we are still in the realm of real life. But that is about to end soon because I don't know how this happened. But I was on the car and then I magically transformed to the Disney water park entrance. I don't even know if Disney has a water park, but there was water slides everywhere. Mickey Mouse was everywhere. It was kind of a gloom. It was still like a gloomy day, but it wasn't like raining anymore. It was just like an overcast. And I was just walking around looking at the attractions and stuff. I think I was contemplating going up to someone and just saying hi. I think ultimately I did not because there's only like two groups of people with like employees around. I didn't This was just like a random side plot. I don't know how this happened. But yeah, after that whole I went to Disney ordeal, walking around, there was penguins everywhere. Yeah, there was penguins everywhere at this Disney water park only. There wasn't any roller coasters. There's just penguins and water slides. I don't know why. But I left, got back in my car. The car wasn't a car at this point. I don't know what it was, but I know what it was later, and we'll get to that. I was driving home and I was cruising back onto the main road and I turned right again. But this time it was to the mountains. As I said, there was mountains to the right, and I was driving on like a really curvy road trying to get back home, and it started raining again, and I was sliding all over the place. And I know I said I just stopped recording for a second, I don't know why, but I know I said that the story got haywire a bit ago, but this is where everything truly went wrong. The road transformed into like one of those water slides, and I was just slipping and sliding around. It transformed into a water slide, like one of those really big ones. I'm trying to I know like a direct correlation somewhere, Like, if you guys have ever played Stumble Guys, it's like one of the water slides from that game. I don't know how to describe it better than that. It was like that. And then, whatever I was writing, I started writing the Pokemon Garchomp as like a car, and it was just in the water. I don't know what happened, and like, I started writing the Pokemon Garchomp. You guys, I don't know if you guys know what that is either, but it's like a dragon ground type. Like, it's like a purple Pokemon, and it was slipping and sliding into water, and eventually, the water on the park on this not I mean not the park, the water slide, it turned brown. It was still like the same texture, the color was just brown, and there was like a launch off of the water slide, and then I got launched off back to the main road where all the cars were driving, and then I started getting pummeled by cars because I fell down with a Garchomp in the middle of the road, and the cars just didn't care. They just drove past. It just hit me, and then I lagged back onto the water slide, like how I lag in Minecraft. I lagged back in real life on the Garchomp, back into real life, and then I got launched off into a different place. I got launched off into a beach, a sandy beach, and I was like, okay, I can just cruise along the water and get back to my home. And so I was cruising along the water, right? And then I lagged back all the way to the mountain water slide again. And this is where things oh no. This is where things become truly not okay. This time after I launched off into the water slide, I went on another sandy beach. And but this wasn't an ordinary beach. I had become Steve, and I was in Minecraft beta. Specifically, there was the textures and everything. Minecraft beta, everything had become blocks. The beach was sand blocks, the water was water blocks, and Garchomp was still just Garchomp. And I was riding Garchomp around in the water, and it was nighttime or something because Minecraft mobs started attacking me. Creepers, skeletons, zombies. I was evading them with Garchomp riding in the water. And I pressed F3 in my dream. And I checked my coordinates. They were like negative 2900, 500 positive. Those were my XZ coordinates. And I was like, huh, I'm getting pretty close to my house. So I kept dodging even the mobs, and and that's that's genuinely where the story ends. I just remember last thing I remember, I was dodging and weaving Minecraft mobs in beta Minecraft with a cliffside to the left of me, the beach also to the left of me. I was chilling on the coastline with water to the right, and Minecraft mobs attacking me, riding off in the sunset. That was the dream. That was the ending of the dream. It was like quite literally a fever dream. And there are definitely some details. I took some notes right before I recorded this video. Let's see if there's anything I missed. There's definitely some things I missed. Alright, let's... Yeah, I don't know. Basically, I woke up at 7:30 right now, and I was like, I had to make this a video because this this fever dream should not be kept in my brain. It was so insane. I don't even know how half the things happened. Like, I just woke up. I know I already said that, but I just woke up, and that's it. That's my dream. I don't even usually dream. I said that at the beginning of the video. I don't dream usually, and well, I mean, I probably do dream, but I don't remember my dreams usually, and this was something else. Okay, I want to finish this parkour before I end the video because it says the end right there, so I gotta beat it. Please let me complete this ender chest jump. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Yep. Hey, let's go. We finished it. I have my chat turned off because I don't know what people are gonna be saying, but let's go. That was a crazy dream.